Good afternoon. My name is John Clark. I am the great grandson of George Cheever Hazlett. We have some remarks here. I guess I ought to use them. I would like to read a passage from Hazlett's journal, if you will bear with me. I'm going to be longer than the rest of these guys, if you could stand this long. If I get too long, just tell me.
Speak up, John.
Speak up. Leaving home behind. Oh, there are things in this life too sacred to speak about. And one is the love of a good wife. February 17, 1898. Left home this day for Alaska, 4:35 p.m. Have thought before that I had endured many hard things in this life, but never came across anything like parting from my family. I walked to school with my boys to say goodbye out of sight of my wife. I can plainly see their little forms as they passed out of sight into the schoolhouse. The only thought that keeps me up is that I am going for the good of them and their darling mother. And if parting from my boys was hard, that from my wife was torture. I had known for days that it would be difficult, but the sad look in those eyes I can never forget as she said, "I know I shall never see you again." But she shall. I will come back to her and the boys and prepare to take care of them as they deserve. Here's a passage, chapter 9. It's called Indian Charlie. Or Tilladettes we found later. Well, I have written a good deal about Charlie, but his strength of character has struck me forcibly. Had to stop November 12th, 1898. I had to stop pulling yesterday at noon on account of water overflowing ice. We are now camped on the copper at the Etna River, as the Indians call it, just about a mile above where Nikolai had his summer camp. Almost every day we have had an Indian eat with us. Nikolai Ibo and Indian Charlie are camped about 5 miles below, and one or the other has been at our camp every day for a meal. Indian Charlie is the same Indian we met in June below the Sanford, and who told us there was high U gold on the Chiskotina. With his family we met him in August as he was on his way up to the Chiskotina with his family for the fall hunt, and again ran across him last Wednesday. He helped us pull for about a mile, then helped us set up camp and remain for supper. He is the most intelligent Indian we have seen, having been to Circle City, 40 Mile in the Tanana. He can say a few words in English and make one understand much more by signs and illustrations. It seems he is much more civilized than many of his white brethren in these parts. For he told us in the most earnest way that he had in his cache 3 cups, 3 knives, and forks, pails, skins, etc., because some mukmuk or food, but Oakbine or white man came along and they were all gone. We felt so indignant over his loss that we told him and made him understand that if he ever caught a white man taking anything from his cache again, he should shoot him on the spot. But he only shook his head sadly, made the sign of the cross, and pointing up, he said, "No good, Jesus no like. Oak bond take, Injun's kosh, Injun get more. It was a simple sermon, but uttered with more pathos and feeling than has ever before been my lot to hear. I have sat, as the saying goes, for years under the drippings of the sanctuary. I have heard preachers and teachers of almost every denomination expound on their doctrine, yet neither in my life before have I been moved as I was with the simple utterances of this so-called savage of the North. Surrounded on every hand by snow and ice, seated in a small tent, which we had pitched close to the bank of the mighty rushing river that had taken the life this season of a number of our kind. We listened in amazement at his utterances and could not help but feel how much nearer man is to nature and nature's God in this fair, far-off land than when surrounded by the much boasted civilization we had left. There's not much been written about Andrew Jackson Mills. I am a publisher. I worked hard to find an interesting passage. But maybe not as important as what you all felt about Andrew Jackson Mills and his family that reside here now. And my contemporary is Bill Harris. His great-grandfather was Andrew Jackson Mills. And I don't think Bill is here today because I think he's in Anchorage. But his hospitality, I guess you would call it, and his embrace of my family, the Hazel family, or the Clark family, has been incredible, as well as all the people, each person that I've met here in Valdez. It's a very special place. These three men were perfect. Oh, well, let me tell you a little bit about Andrew Jackson Mills if you don't know. He was a real cowboy. I called him the Rowdy Yates, if you remember that, of the old television show. He could do anything. He rode stages, he wrestled cattle, he drove cattle all across Texas and Nebraska. He had an innate acumen for mathematics. He was not what you would call a well-educated man, but that didn't matter. He became a civil engineer, basically, and a construction engineer. I swear to God, just like Bill Harris. The same